Okay, so this is going to be a very telling interview because this is Dave Chappelle.
Industry is a monster.
Actually, I don't know if this is an interview. I just know that this is Dave Chappelle on Kanye West and somebody else.
Profit muscle. This industry is a monster. Is akin to killing him. Do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these
This
contracts.
is a reaction video. I don't want to copyright thing.
In perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract the way the 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out, and it wasn't good money, and it wasn't good circumstances, but...
Okay, I'm really bored right now. He's not saying anything, but I get he's saying a lot.
Trust this, Dave. It's a good contract. And I looked around the table, and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it?
That is exactly what Kanye is talking about, them trying to control us.
The bag of money was Iceberg's money.
I'm gonna have to subscribe to this cat.
What was I talking about?
Where we at?
Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was,
I
call Lauren Michaels and I tell him, okay, I'll do it. I'll do Saturday Night Live.
This is a new channel, guys. I'm still learning the ropes.
And the day I made that phone call, the day I committed to it, it gets announced that Netflix is streaming Chappelle's show. Not just Netflix. HBO Max is streaming it too. I'll tell you another story about HBO.
I hate hearing these stories because I'm from Hollywood or Los Angeles, so like I know all this shit, and you're not really supposed to like.
That show to HBO.
I guess that's the whole fucking point, right?
I told him what I wanted to do. Now
this is the kind of shit that goes on.
Have to do is say, yeah,
people don't talk about this.
No, thank you, we won't. But they didn't say either of those things. They went too far. They said literally, "What do we need you for?" That's what they told me. Because they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are.
Okay. In respect to that, when someone says that to you, consider the source. Okay? Because before he stopped talking, I had already imagined what the person looked like that was talking to him and telling him that. So already I know that there's bias involved, correct? Let's continue listening.
These years later, and they're streaming the very show that I was pitching to them. So I'm asking them, what do you need me for?
Right? Who's in there crying?
People think I made a lot of money for Chappelle's show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract. But is that right? I found out that these people were streaming my work and they never had to ask me or they never had to tell me. Perfectly legal because I signed the contract. But is that right? I didn't think so either. That's why I like working for Netflix. I like working for Netflix. Because all those bad things.
He's smoking.
That company didn't even exist. And when I found out they were streaming Chappelle's show, I was furious. How could they not know? So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better.
What the hell?
That's why I put Netflix. Because they paid me my money. They do what they say they're going to do.
Oh, good.
And they went above and beyond what you could expect from a businessman. They did something just because they thought that I might think that they were wrong. And I do. I think if you are streaming that show, you're fencing stolen goods. They stole that from you. They just took it.
Yeah.
And I'm not up here trying to tell you guys that I believe that Comedy Central gave me a raw deal just because I'm black. I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks. And I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
Wow.
When I quit the show,
what?
all
Wow.
my friends would say, well, f them, Dave. Why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network?
Okay, let's mute it for a second. Oh, look at that camera. Okay. We're going to skip the ad.
Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer.
The industry owns Chappelle's name. Me, Prophet Muscle, gonna change the world. Instead of nigga, we're gonna use the word kinga. We all descended from righteous kings and not slaves. I created that word kinga.
My God, man, I was trapped. You know, tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do, I can't call it Chappelle's show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
You're horrible, dude. You're only in here because I shut the door.
You're not supposed to do this in my business. I'm up here doing something that nobody else's business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need to know. I'm trying to explain to you what you're seeing.
Here.
What you're seeing.
Me too.
I am
Shoot.
publicly flogging a network. And I know that this network, they watching me and they saying, why are you doing this so publicly? Doesn't feel good to be flogged publicly. Oh, believe me, I know exactly how that feels. When I quit my show, they said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore.
When you went to Africa?
They said I smoked crack. It's impossible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now because you ruined my life.
Correct. Right? I didn't smoke till I was 21.
Now it's their turn. This is their first Michael lesson. And I'm honored to give it.
What the hell is that? What was that noise?
They're going to pay me for this show. I called my agent. I said, is there anything I can do about this show?
Okay, sorry, quick pause. I just heard like a I don't know, it seemed to be like a lightning fast glitch. Comment below if you heard it. The immediate thought that crossed my mind was, am I being hacked?
And he said, no. Well, you do that. You want something done right, I guess you got to do it yourself. So I'm not going to the agents.
Yeah.
I'm coming to my real boss.
Right.
I'm coming to you.
Yeah, the public.
I'm begging you.
Yes.
If you ever like me,
holla.
if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you. Please don't watch that show. I'm not asking to boycott any network. Boycott me. Boycott Chappelle's show.
Good job. Good choice of words.
Unless they pay me.
Dang. I love his nature. I love his down to earth dress,
If you're a shareholder
his
at
no
Viacom, then
nonsense
I'm talking to you.
attitude.
Because all that they do to us, well, they do everything for their shareholders. That's what they told me.
His
So if
straight
you're a
up
shareholder in that
honesty.
company, tell them it's wrong. If you don't believe that it's wrong, well, F you too.
Yeah.
Should know what's in the hot dogs you eat.
So what you call that is a conglomerate, right? It's called a conglomerate. That's why you're supposed to bind with like minded people, right? And bond with like minded people, right? Hence the YouTube community. Why am I here? These are the friends of the friendless. Remember that? The Lucille Ball show? Yeah.
There's probably a bunch of people at Comedy Central and Viacom and all these places that have no idea what I'm talking about. They've all either quit or been fired or got Me Too or something. It's gone.
Well, I don't know about that. Brad
There's a
Pitt's
whole
still
bunch of
around.
little young people there, and they're probably looking like, "What is he
And
talking about?" They may
apparently,
not actually know
he likes to
what the
shake people
happened to
up.
me. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Go downstairs to your accounting department, open the books, see what that show made, and look at what you paid me. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. You're going to pay me. I am inviting you to come with me and work with me.
Kanye has since said, or Ye has since said, that he didn't even have anything going on with Balenciaga when Balenciaga decided that they were going to drop him. So they didn't really drop him from anything, he said, because I wasn't with them. They're just saying that they're not planning on going through it with anything in the future. Adidas dropped him today. Um, this man is purportedly one of, if not the richest man or black man in America. So these are per his words. He spat those words out. And if you do your research, that's what you'll learn. But at the end of the day, is it right? Should he be canceled? I mean, without getting into that whole religious aspect, because you know, it's a lack of respect, really, for, said religion. I mean, you have to understand religion. In terms of religion, people believe different things. Those are your beliefs. That's your belief system. That is what you go to be grounded and you remain grounded. These are your boundaries, correct? So that's the thing about religion. So when you're talking about exclusion and inclusion in terms of religion, you can't really touch that. That's completely like a whole nother can of worms, correct?
And let's fight against that terrible, terrible feeling that you made me feel together. We can.
And I'm not saying don't stand up for yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I'm a hermit. I stand up for myself every single day. So, when you choose to live a certain way, like that's a choice. You've decided, you've made a decision on that, correct? So, I mean, you know, do you fall in line? Sometimes, yes, you do fall in line. Sometimes there is no other way around it. You can play the game, but if you're up against a beast, and I'm not saying we're up against the beast, nobody's up against a beast. We're just, hypothetically speaking, we're saying, like, look, there needs to be some sort of regulations, right? That's why Kim Kardashian just came out with a statement following the Ye situation public outcry, correct? So, in terms of that, I can tell you one thing. You know, the neo-Nazis are going to be out there. They're not going away. And, they might die off or whatever because of like, natural selection. But at the end of the day, these people are spawning and they're breeding. And so their offspring becomes that which is what they were, right? However you say that. So there's no getting away from it because the world is going to keep spinning regardless of whether you want to get off the fucking train or not, right? So this is all par for the course. The people, the public, the entertainment industry, they want someone, there's nothing going on right now. The war is looming, okay? We haven't entered it yet, and God willing, we won't. But that's not to say that we will never be involved. We're already involved. We're using, I mean, that tale is never ending, right? So back to the initial course, I mean, we can't even buy, like, this is the tip of the iceberg. And I know I'm using a lot of cliches, but there's no other way around it, right? Like Neil Sean says, as ever, what can we do about it? All we can do is talk about it. Let's see what this guy's saying and how we can cross reference that with yay. Because at this point, at the end of the day, right? I mean, it all boils down to advertisement, money. Whose name are you going to use? Right now, I'm going to use the name YouTube. This is why we're here. Let's continue.
We can fight together and work this thing with Chappelle's show out. Or I can just take it. Thank you.
And don't forget,
What are we gonna do then?
and don't forget, oh, what is this?
That was good right there. That was it.
The dude Kanye's hugging, he's the dude.
Okay, so, you get the idea. Thanks to whatever Cap pulled this up. Don't worry, I subscribe to you. I'm not going to shout you out because obviously I don't know who you are. But, anyways, good video and good choice of content. And you got to love Dave Chappelle, right?